I don't know how much you know about like the Battlefield community, but they've always had these EA game changers. You know, this group of people that were like the big deal in the community. And they actually said for this one, they're starting afresh. Like they don't want it just to be the same people it always has been. They wanted to reach out and get some new people involved. So I was on that list, which was nice. And then I had to keep it a secret for like a week, and it was horrible. I had to not talk about the fact that I knew what Battlefield was for like a week. Really
embargoes are the absolute worst. Like I've had to deal with them, and having to deal with an embargo is like, I want to tell people about this thing. It's so cool.
And it's like that thing of like, naturally when you see something cool, you want to talk to at least your friends, you know, let alone talking about it on stream and for that. You don't want to do that. But I want to talk to my friends. You know, some of my friends are bigger Battlefield fans than I am. And it's like I was having to play with them and be like not say anything at all because you know you never know, you have to follow these NDAs and embargoes to the letter because otherwise obviously you'll never get invited back to anything again. You know, and the Battlefield one did leak a bit, someone did, and then we were getting emails saying like we found them. So like at first it was like, you know, oh, we've got our security people working on it, we've got like the police working on it, and then they sent us an email saying like we know who it is. I was like, oh Jesus, like what's happened to them?
That sounds like a cult. Oh my god.
So yeah, I'm glad I was not leaking that. Like I would not want to be that person.
Yeah, I know that you had like a time on Twitter. I distinctly remember a specific Twitter thread where you went on saying about how like data mines and leaks are overall pretty harmful. I agree with that because I feel like you're kind of spoiling yourself and kind of sullying the waters with the dev team. It's like, well, if it's just going to be spoiled anyway, why should we care, so to speak? Like if from a developer's perspective.
Yeah, I mean, like with E3, that is a good example of like you get these big reveals, and every time you get people saying, "Oh, this is boring. We already knew all of this stuff," and it's like we already knew this stuff because it leaked. Like that's the only reason you already knew that stuff. Like Starfield was a good example. Like the Starfield thing at Xbox, where I think the Washington Post published a trailer like an hour before the event happened, and it's like that kind of completely took the wind out of the sails of the beginning of that conference because people who care. Stuff, which is still a tiny percentage of people who watch this stuff, you know, like it's not many people, but they were like, oh well, we already knew this, boring. And Call of Duty has it every season, like every time there's a new content drop, there's a bunch of people saying like, oh, we already know this, so it's rubbish. It's like, well, stop. It's literally like reading what happens on Wikipedia at the end of a TV series and then watching the TV series and being like, oh well, that was rubbish. It's like, well, you just thought it yourself. Like, what are you doing?